Hi, my name is Michael Phillips. I've been attending the Consumer Genetics Conference for the last 4 years. I've spoken at almost every one of them, and I find it a truly interactive conference where I meet people from industry, academia, and finance. It's a great environment to really learn about where the field is at and where it's going, and I find that it continues to expand and is really a high-quality conference that I enjoy.
Well, it's my first time coming to one of these, so I'm still sort of learning what's here, but it seems to be a really encouraging mix of a little bit of server side, a little bit of almost at the insurance end of the spectrum, people who are clinical, and a whole spectrum from, I think, a couple of us who are just, we have our own data and very curious, and then all of the pipeline that gets from the sequencers to the analysis and the rest. And it's encouraging to see this group talking to each other.
I keep coming back to the Consumer Genetics Conference because I think you own your genome, and your right to actually sequence it yourself is your duty and your right, your natural right. And this conference is about how we can interpret our genomes, what we can do with that information, and how are we going to push it into the clinic so we make just better decisions on healthcare. And it doesn't have to be this large hospitalization through the FDA. It can be you reading your own genome and figuring out what to do with it. And that's what the conference is all about.
I find it super energizing every year. I feel like the group that gathers to talk about and fight about and wrestle with these issues, it's really this army, for lack of a better metaphor, that's on the front lines of doing some pretty incredible things in the world. And it feels like, in many ways, consumer genetics is still a revolution that's just beginning, that there is this silent revolution happened in the science, and then these are the pioneers that are taking that science and putting it in the hands of consumers and doctors and the people who can really bring the promise of genetics to life in terms of making a difference for individuals and families and kids. And it's just exciting I think we all toil away in our little offices, and some of our offices are smaller than others at this stage of the company, and it's just super energizing to show up here and realize that you're actually part of a community.
Well, it's a terrific conference. Got to hear a lot of the really cutting edge individuals, both in industry and in academia, presenting what's happening in genetics. As a physician who practices both primary care and does genetics as well, running a program in the Northeast area, it's really important to see what's out there, and you come away with ideas and things you haven't thought about, new technologies, websites you have to look at, and ways to know who to go to and what technologies are really available now. And you're seeing people like George Church and Lee Silver. These are key individuals in the industry that you want to hear directly from, and it's been a pleasure to hear them today.
We particularly are interested in this conference because we came here to announce a very specific and special announcement today, and that is the new team entering the competition, which is the Weiss Institute at Harvard University team. And we're very excited about that because George Church and his team, consisting of Richard Terry, are going to take that next step towards advancing science. And we couldn't think of a better venue than the Consumer Genetics Conference here in Boston.